to episode 2 of Caroline and Jezza's problem page. This is an internet sensation. So far, over 9 billion people have tuned in to listen. And this is where we actually read 3 or 4 readers' letters and try and comment on them intelligently, helpfully, and not too sarcastically. Caroline, say hello.
Hello. Hello. Lovely to be here with you, Jezza.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, shall we get straight on with it then?
Let's get straight on.
Okay, right. Okay. 2 moments now. Let me go. Okay, this is a letter from Miss J. It could be Miss Julia, Miss Juliet, Miss Jackie. Who knows? I'm 29 and I've made a terrible mistake. 5 years ago, my mum remarried, and a year ago, I went back home briefly whilst I was between flats. I don't know how it happened, but I found myself flirting with my stepfather. 2 days after I moved into my new flat, he came round to bring some of my stuff. Minutes later, we found ourselves kissing passionately. He then told me he was in love with me, and we ended up in bed. Afterwards, we both felt dreadfully guilty and agreed it must never happen again. We were both very remorseful and made a pact not to rock Mum's world by telling her. But he didn't stick to that and confessed all. Mum was utterly devastated, but she's still with him. In the only conversation I've had with her since, she said she never wanted to see or hear from me again. My world has fallen apart. Over to you, Carolina, for your comments.
Oh dear, well, I just feel so dreadfully sorry for everybody involved here, for the 3 of them. What a nightmare situation. And let's just quickly address one thing, you know, when they say, oh, I couldn't help it, something overcame us. We've all got to take stock of that phrase, I couldn't help it. You know, because we might all have overwhelming feelings sometimes, but that doesn't mean to say you have to act on them. Anyway, that's for the future. But this poor girl and the poor mum, and I feel sorry for the bloke as well. I mean, what a stupid mistake to make. But, you know, everybody makes mistakes. So, and the mum is sort of taking out all the blame, if you like, on the daughter to enable her to stay married to the man. But he and she are in the marriage, not the daughter. This is technically a couple problem between the husband and the wife. And he needs to really, really do one hell of a lot of work to make amends here. As for the daughter, she must feel ghastly, absolutely ghastly, and terrified she'll never see her mum again. You know, she needs help. They all need help.
Okay. Well, I feel rather sorry for the daughter, actually. She seems to have come out of it really badly. In other words, not only is her mother not talking to her, you know, the stepfather, he's all right. He's staying with her mother. But, you know, she's got no future with the mum. She's not even having any future carnal relations at all with the stepdad. And she's racked with guilt. So the whole thing's gone totally wrong for her. And as much as I don't wish to denigrate the male of the species, he's the one who's caused all the damage, you know, without any doubt. So, I mean, what do we think? I mean, let's say something positive for her. Well, you know, hopefully, you know, if the husband was bonking, excuse my use of language, the daughter-in-law, when they just got married, the chances are he will most likely be repeating that experience with somebody else, and that the marriage will probably fall apart, maybe, and that the mother will see a way of being, forgiving the daughter, and why not? I think she should. But I think the terrible thing is, these, whether they should happen, didn't happen, shoulda, coulda, woulda, doesn't matter. It has happened. And, you need to come up with ways of how to make the daughter feel that she can carry on, make an amend to the mum, and then just, find a way of, moving on from this.
And she definitely needs support for that. And I would recommend she gets professional support for that, with counselling or therapy. It's such a nightmare situation. And of course, yes, she must, obviously, I'm sure she has tried everything anyway to make amends to her mum, but she's also got to forgive herself, because otherwise she will destroy her life.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sure the mum will come back. I'm sure the mum will come back when the dust settles. The mum won't want to lose her daughter.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more than the daughter won't want to lose her mum.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Shall we go on now to the next letter? Thank you, Miss J. This is, would you like to read it, Caroline?
Will.
From Helena.
From Helena. And I think she's in Salisbury. My partner is a compulsive liar, a heavy boozer, and a scrounger. Why am I with him, you might ask? We have been together 2 years, and I really thought I could change him. I now know I can't, but he's like a drug to me. Everyone urges me to leave him, but on the few occasions I have done so, he's wooed me back very quickly. I'm at my wit's end. It's crazy. I'm miserable with him and I'm miserable without him. But you don't choose the people you fall in love with, do you? And before I go any further, Jeremy, I've just got to say something that I feel so passionate about here. We do choose the people we fall in love with, be it consciously or unconsciously. Over to you.
Okay. Well, I sort of feel there is she protests too much situation going on here, and it sounds like to me she likes him a lot, and he's a bit of a dodgepot, but she likes him a lot, and she's in love with him, and therefore, really, what she's got to do is accept him as he is and hope that he improves and find a way of making her life bearable. But it sounds like it is bearable, but for a few moments, and you either do that or you get out, but I don't think she's ready to get out. So put up, shut up, and make it work as best you can is my advice.
Well, I would urge her to look inside and to say, who does he remind her of? Because I would bet £1 billion if I had it, that he shows similar characteristics to what she was brought up with.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's completely familiar to her. So maybe her parents were philandering, boozing, blah, 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 blah. And so they feel familiar. These people feel familiar. And that's too easy to fall in love then. And then you kind of want to make it all work this time.
Yeah, yeah.
So for instance, a girl with a philandering, boozing father might feel very attracted to a philandering, boozing boyfriend with a sort of unconscious hope that this time she can fix it all. But no.
But does that mean because she wants to marry her father?
No, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
But as we know, familiarity can be such a pull. And what we want to do is be attracted to familiar good things in people.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
not familiar, not so good things.
Of course.
As you said, either put up and shut up.
Hopefully deep down she knows. Next letter is from Steve. At last, a male. This is great. Okay, well, actually, I think it's going to be quite similar. Dear Caroline and Jezza, I'm going out with a woman who, despite being divorced 2 years ago, keeps banging on about her ex. She talks about him constantly, and it's really getting on my nerves. I was thinking in terms of wedding bells for us, but I'm getting worried now because I don't want to be there to be three in a bed. Ooh. I've asked her to stop and change the record, but then a few days later, it all starts up again. Steve.
Well, alarm
Well,
bells there, Jeremy. Alarm bells, not wedding bells. You should leave
okay.
it. Over to you. You being
Well,
the
no,
male.
I mean, I think in my experience, people normally talk about their exes a lot, either because they're dead or they've just died, uh, or that they want to wind their partner up a lot about how great their, ex was. Or sometimes because consciously or unconsciously, they are still in love with them, you know, and it strikes me that, Steve's talking about not wanting to, there'd be three in a bed. Well, there might be three in the kitchen, three in the garden, three on holiday. So my view for Steve is get the hell out of Dodge City and abandon that one.
I agree with you there. It sounds to me like she's got unresolved, she's still grieving for the ex. She's got unresolved grief, and that she needs to heal before she's ready for another relationship.
I mean, of course, the only other thing to add to this is that sometimes somebody writes in saying, "God, she keeps banging on about her ex." Well, you've got to work out, is that true? The fact that she mentions the ex twice a year isn't banging on about him. But anyway, let's hope we've said the right thing there. Right, last one. Carolina, you're going to read this.
Hang on 1 second. Right. Oh, this is so sad. Yeah. I lost my mum last year to cancer and miss her very much. My dad and I muddle along, but sometimes I feel so low and anxious. Everybody says time heals, but every time the phone rings, I think it's her. We used to speak every day. I share a flat with friends and pop home to see my dad as much as I can. The grief is natural, I know, but when I see other mums and daughters out together, laughing and talking, I feel so envious. I try to be brave, but when will the pain stop? Susie from Hertfordshire.
Well, I think this is a very heartfelt, sort of moving letter, and I think most of us have sadly been involved in some, area of this, and I think, when you lose somebody you love, it's very, very tricky. And the important thing for me of what I think what I think this lady could do is it's really worth having a photo album, building it yourself, a photo album of that person. All the things you did together when you first started when you were a little girl, or all that stuff. And maybe you have a little I don't know, it sounds stupid, shelf in a wardrobe, where you have, the things that you associate with your mum, whoever it is who's died, almost like a shrine, and you can go to that place and you can read letters, you can look at your photo album and you can see the things, because it is time. Time will take the edge off acute, and then it will be dull pain, as it were, and then it will be manageable, and then it will be a memory, and then it will be a distant memory. And that is the way it works. But thank God she's sharing a flat with friends.
Yeah,
that's really good, and looking after her dad.
Absolutely. And those grief waves, it really does come in waves, doesn't it? She can be walking along feeling absolutely fine, and then whoosh, this wave of grief. But the wave does pass, and she will gradually learn that no matter how painful the wave, it will pass. And of course, you know, her mum is in her heart forever, you know. And
Well, I
I
suppose
think,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
yeah, it is, yeah. And she, I mean, I still have the old chat with my mum who died 21 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I think, oh, mum would love that, or, you know, and those moments are lovely. And 21 years on, she's not going to be in acute pain, as you said.
Yeah.
She's going to be able to remember the good things.
I think the other thing
hold her mum in her heart.
The other thing to add to this is that, you know, we do live in a slightly more caring world, or, I mean, maybe it is super touchy-feely, I don't know, but, you know, it is all right, actually, to talk to your friends, talk to people about how you feel. And, you know, if somebody says to you, oh, God, it must be awful you missing your mum, you don't need to sort of become Beryl Reid and go, I don't think so, I'm fine, thank you so much, yes, Parson. You know, I mean, I think that we were, in the past in this country, we were always very, you know, worried that we didn't want to be a bore or look weak or be a, you know, wet blanket. And I think, you know, you just have to, actually what you have to do is you have to have a go-to friend to talk about things. You know, we just go, oh my God, I really thought I was going to lose it in the supermarket. You know, we saw the packet of Opal fruits. That's what we always did together, you know. And it can be anything, but, you know, you do need a go-to person, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioning Opal fruits, actually, because when I was at boarding, I'm sorry, I just have to say this, we can always edit it out.
Okay.
When I was at boarding school, age 7,
Yes.
we were doing some things about smoking rooms and this, that, and the other. And I remember putting my hand up and saying, do they have an Opal fruit room? It's just come back to me, just you saying Opal fruits.
Hopefully you were dragged away and beaten within an inch of your life. Very nice. Well, you know, we run out. We only have enough money to be 15 minutes or so on the internet. Otherwise, the meter stops. But
we will be back.
We just want to say that there is. We are on the Facebook thing, and I think we're on Twitter. I'm not sure, but certainly on Facebook and LinkedIn if you're on that, and here on YouTube. If you would like to ask ask about a question, a problem, tell us about it. If you go ask at CJ Prob Page, PROBPAGE.co.uk, we will get back to you. And as much as those things are totally confidential, they are totally confidential, and you know, within the realms of, you know, just reasonableness. And so please let us know, and we'll have a good time next time.
And just to repeat that address, in case somebody was scrabbling for a pen, it is ask@cjprobpage.co.uk. Yeah. And yes, definitely confidential, so don't worry.
Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. It's been great fun to be here today, and I'm looking forward to more enjoyment with Carolina, Bellalina, Melalina.
Take care, Jezza. Where's a big Jezza?
Oh, indeed, yeah, tip top and totally tidy. Hey, okay, baby. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Hasta la vista.
Bye. Bye.